Hello and welcome. My name is Eunice Mathis. I'm the owner of Florida Training Academy, and today we have with us Mileeann and Elaine. And so they are two American Heart Association instructors who are located in Puerto Rico. And in today's class, we're going to go through our business development to help them actually gain a plan for their business, to help them structure a plan for their business and for the business to grow. So I want to welcome both of you ladies and thank you for being customers and also mentees. You all were a pleasure to work with, and I look forward to helping you grow your businesses. So a little bit about myself. The reason why I became a nurse entrepreneur, and let everyone know this, is because my first week on the floor, I decided that I didn't want to nurse that way. And I started looking for ways. I had multiple businesses while still working full time or either as a travel nurse. And I gave myself 10 years. And so once I reached that 10-year mark, I had enough business experience to where I can go and start a business. And so I've dealt in retail, also in real estate, and some of the business didn't work, but what did work was the medical training business. And so I've been the owner of Florida Training Academy. This year in August will make 15 years. And so I thank you all for entrusting me, CPR instructors, BLS instructors, future ACLS instructors, we're going to get there. And so thank you for trusting me. And so now the goal is to help you develop your brand and to grow your businesses. All right. And so would you please introduce yourselves? You can tell us, your name, maybe your occupation, and the reason why you want to be a CPR instructor or open your CPR instructor business.
Well, hi. Well, first of all, my name is Mileeann. I'm a paramedic from Puerto Rico. I actually work as a part-time paramedic right now since we're developing our business. We're doing the paperwork and everything. So I have 6 years of experience. And the reason why we decided to start doing CPR to instruct CPR is because there's not a lot of CPR instructors here on the island, and we felt that, well, we could help in that area, and we have the knowledge and to give others that may be starting as a medical professional to be that guide in their way to pave the path for them. That would be our goal, or at least my personal goal.
Very honorable. All right. What about you?
Hi, my name is Lleny. I am a nurse, 8 years of experience. I work currently in the ER department, and I just looking for develop a business in the medical field with training, and we start with CPR. I'm looking forward to do more eventually.
And I love your partnership. As I was telling you all during the live class that we had here in Jacksonville, the fact that one of you all can market, and of course you can market to anyone, but usually professionals, they like to stick with their profession. And so the first responders, your paramedics, police officers, of course, one of you all can market to them. And then you would have the nurses, the doctors, and the CNAs. So whether it's in facility or out of facility, you all have a lot of people that you can work with. And I think in one of our emails, you all were mentioning the daycare centers or either child care centers. And so when you think about all those different markets, and something else that you may not have considered is how many of us in Florida who we don't speak Spanish, we're not bilingual. And so even if you all could co-teach a class with us, albeit remotely, because sometimes I will have a person who calls in, I could be here doing the hands-on skills with them, but if they have a question in Spanish, I wouldn't be able to answer that question. And so, I want you to also really think about, I guess in Puerto Rico, it's not that big of a deal that you're bilingual. But here in Jacksonville, you flew in, that's a big deal, and it's also an asset.
Well, here in the island, English and Spanish are both the main languages. They are in the constitution of the country, so we are supposed to be bilingual. We are supposed to be.
We are supposed.
All right, so where are you at in your business development? Have you started teaching any classes?
Well, not yet. We have heard grandmother has a group of people. We're starting with the church. So we're going with the heart saver part, you know, first aid, basic CPR, and that side we're gathering a group for that, you know. Business wise, we already established our name. And
May I have your name?
oh yeah, CorCol Training Center.
Would you say it once more?
CorCol, CorCol is the first three letters of our last names combined.
Oh, okay. So CorCol, and what was the rest of it?
Training Center.
Training Center. Awesome. And what's your website?
We haven't developed that yet.
Okay. So before we leave the meeting today, I will help you develop your website. It's not hard, and help you get your domain. It's not expensive, and then that way, you know, you can make sure that you have corcol.com or corcol TC, whatever you want it to be. And because you all are doing various trainings, it's not just going to be CPR. I wouldn't do corcolcpr.com. You wanted something that'll be universal, where if you want to add on in the future, we get so many calls here for the neonatal resuscitation courses, the NRP courses, and I don't have an NRP instructor. And so with you being an ER nurse, that could be even something that you add on in the future. I actually, either one of you all, because you all have experience, you know, with mothers giving birth, etc. So it's just, I don't want you to limit the name or either your website, because you can continue offering those classes. And let's see here.
We are thinking also other training courses too, not and necessarily medically related.
You'd be great with OSHA classes, because you have to do confined spaces, etc. And so I know, young lady. I mean, like, it's so many endless possibilities for you too, and that's why I love your teamwork. So, you know, most people would have to go out and find someone to teach those OSHA courses. You know, someone that's trustworthy. But here it is. This is what you do. You're on the back. You're with the oxygen, etc. So it's so many different courses that you can teach that as a nurse I wouldn't be able to do so. Right? Mm-hmm. And so we have a business name that is great. Would you all go ahead and start opening up your packets? All right, and so the first page was just the agenda. We're going to go to the second page, which talks about the SWOT analysis. And the reason why I wanted you both to have a document is because I want you both to, you know, come up with your own creative ideals. And then at the end, you know, when you all have time to process all this information, you can, you know, you can see which of the ideals you want to put in place first. But with your SWOT, is going to be the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and threats for your businesses. And so, I don't want to kind of like separate it, but if one of you all could focus on more of like the market as far as the medical market, and the other focus on like the heart saver or the layperson market, and then that way we can have two separate plans. So which of you want to focus on which aspect?
I'd like to focus on the heart saver aspect.
Okay, so that'll be
I think about that a lot.
Okay, all right. And so today I actually did a career day at a school, and it was real cool. It was like the kids were so smart. I don't think this one kid was any older than 8, and they were telling me about seizures and calling 911 and giving breaths. And I mean, it was just amazing to see how smart they were. But you know, I got permission to record, but we have to be mindful of the laws whenever we're recording kids. And so Heart Save, you go to the school, you can still take videos, but you can't put the kids' faces in the videos. So I made sure that my camera was behind them, and they were instructed before we even press play to not turn around. So if you ever watch the video, all you're going to see are the kids' backs. And so when you're going out, you're doing those layperson classes, you need to be taking photos, even if it is with kids. And I do want you to start marketing the kids. I was so surprised at the end. I was only giving my cards out to the older students. And those smart 8 and 9-year-olds were like, oh no, I want a card too. And I was like, okay. So I can imagine they're going home telling their mom they learned CPR, you know, all these other things. One kid didn't know her address, and she was like, but I live in an apartment, so I don't have an address. So you going into the community and you just educating them about safety. And so when I was talking to the teenagers, some of them didn't seem as interested until I brought it home. And the way I brought it home was, it's your grandma who's unresponsive. And then they all kind of like perked up and was like, okay, let me take this more seriously. She's just not a lady who's talking. She's a lady who's going to help me save grandma's life. And so those Heart Saver courses are just as important as the courses that we teach to healthcare providers.
Yeah, we think it will be impactful for the layperson, because here in the island, we are very helpful. If we see someone in trouble, we actually stop and try to give them help. And us as professionals, we've seen the mistakes. I can talk in my experience in car crashes. The first people there are the layperson people, and they try to move patients that are under, they are trapped in the car and they don't know how. And we appreciate the help, but we feel like maybe trying to impact them directly will be beneficial in the future for that.
What type of search engine, and I know this may be a stupid question, do you all use Google in Puerto Rico, or is there a different search engine?
Google.
No, Google it's the...
Okay, so whenever I'm going to make a note, those videos, and it can be a little simple video where you two are practicing skills on each other, but if you can do that in your language, and when people start pulling up classes, if they just search how to do first aid, your videos are going to start popping up. And that will be a way to where you can't be everywhere on the island. You're also trying to work, but you can start referring people back to your video, kind of like the same way I did whenever you're preparing for your CPR instructor course. Hey, go back and look at this video. And something like that, when there's a car wreck, you can create a 3-minute video on what to do if there's a car wreck. Number one, remain calm. And if they smell fire or something, then maybe they can consider smell smoke, they can consider taking the person out the car. But outside of that, if you don't think it's an immediate, danger, leave the person there and just stabilize them, call 911. So a really simple video can help save lives, and it also, help you. So you're not trying to teach everybody. How many people are on the island?
3 million?
No.
Oh my God.
It's we're small.
We're
small, yeah.
It'd be surprising, however, that if we go to, I don't know, California, yeah. No, if you go to California, you may find your neighbor there, because we travel a lot. Yeah. And the fact that we're 3 million people is really hard to not miss someone, like them. You recognize them, yeah.
Florida is taking the nurses from Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah,
yeah.
I traveled, I went on vacation. It doesn't matter where I go on vacation. I tried to do too much stuff in Jacksonville because everybody knows me as a nurse, and I'm like, I'm a human. So here it is. And I'm in the Bahamas, and somebody comes up to me and is like, I know you taught me. I'm like, man, I just want to go somewhere and not be recognized. So the fact that you said that you can travel from Puerto Rico to California and still run into someone that I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
So with your SWOT analysis, everybody, your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And of course, your strengths right now is that you have medical experience. Weaknesses, and what I'm calling out is going to be separate than what you would write on your own. Your weaknesses are that you're new to business. And so we have to actually get you some business training. Opportunities, those people within your community, those networks, the churches. And then the threats would be the established CPR companies, your competitors. So I want you to expound upon what I just stated, and I want you to write at least 3 in each box. So 3 strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that are specific to whatever aspect you're going to be covering, whether it's layperson or healthcare. Good. Mileeann, are you ready to read yours? If you can just read one of the things you wrote in each of the boxes.
Well, from strengths, here in the island, having multiple certifications in different courses, whether it's AHA or other type of certifications, since we first responders don't have a hierarchy, we are just a paramedic and that's it. Having the certifications makes it more attractive to other people. So that I believe that having those certifications here will help out, especially with the medical field.
All right, so what about weaknesses?
Weaknesses, I didn't write anything. I couldn't think of anything. However, I was thinking whilst writing another that maybe a weakness would be the fact that we have to travel a lot to different places since we don't have an established building site. Okay. So I think that would be a bit of a weakness in the case that they don't have a place to go, because well, I was thinking hospitals and clinics that I can teach them there. However, what happens with the recently young graduates from the first response or nurses, that they don't have a place that I can teach them. So I was thinking.
Do you all have any contacts with someone who owns a home care or a healthcare agency?
Oh, a lot. No,
what you want to do is you want to reach out to them, because usually close your offices at like 5 o'clock. And so reach out to one of them to see if you can probably, rent a space, and or, I'll give your staff a discount if you allow us to teach here one night per week. And we actually hold our BLS or our Heart Saver courses here. So partnerships and collaborations are important. So that's why we're doing this. So when you discuss your weakness, I'm immediately trying to figure out how to turn your weakness into a strength. Okay. So what about opportunities and threats?
Well, opportunities, I was thinking, since we have multiple contacts in the hospital field and the clinics, that since they know us, that would be a good way to start. That's an opportunity. The connections we have with those people. Also, since there's not many first responders here, I know a lot of people that work directly in the board of first responders and nurses, and they can give us some type, I wouldn't say leverage or something. However, they can facilitate the process of getting the certification for teaching medical professionals that we need. We need them.
Understood. Now, what about your threats?
Well, the fact that there's very good established training centers here, and they have a good reputation. Not all of them, but the ones that move more people, they have a bigger threat to us.
Okay. And so offline, I will tell you how to deal with those the threats as far as competition in a friendly manner, so that no one dislikes you. But it is a competition. It is a competition, and so we want to make sure that you're competitive, especially just starting off. All right. So thank you for sharing. What about you, Elaine?
I think strengths, like you said before, we know the medical field, so we can approach that area. Also, we like to teach, and she likes to teach the new hires. I like to teach the new hires too in our current jobs. Weakness, I feel like not knowing the laws and the process from establish a business in Puerto Rico for a training center specifically, that is a big weakness for us, because I have to move a lot of agencies to get information, because that phone doesn't work here.
So is there a woman chamber of commerce, excuse me, or a Puerto Rican chamber of commerce?
There is, however, to start a business, we don't go to one place. We go to multiple places here.
Okay. All right. So that was weaknesses, opportunities. Do you have some of the similar opportunities, Elaine?
Well, I'm focused more in the hard saver course because not a lot of instructors here teach it, and I feel like in so many areas like constructions, on sites, industries,
wholesales department stores.
they have the AED, but the employees don't know how to use it. So that is, if you have the equipment, but nobody know how to use it, is no use in the place. So I think that I want to focus my strength in people who don't know how to aid. I don't know. I'm sorry about my
English. How to help other people.
How to help other people.
And I'm understanding everything you're saying.
More people to know how to help.
Okay. Are you like here? We have a lot of people go to the beach, but they don't know how to swim. What is it? Do most Puerto Ricans, do they know how to swim?
I would say yes, mostly in my side of the experience, right? So the rescues we do when there's a body of water involved is with the tourist.
Okay.
Because we know when in the example of a river, we know the telltale signs that it's gonna flood, so we pull out. As locals, we know that. Most tourists don't know that. In the beaches, again, tourists. I actually had an experience not a while ago that a tourist, we had to give him CPR. He did not make it, but it was the beach had already a warning, and we put the warning out, and we put the in the news, and there's a sign in the beach that says strong currents after certain hours. And well, these people were here on vacation, and he drowned because he couldn't fight the current, so he drowned.
Well, these are two things I want you all to consider. One, and I know this may be an extra step, especially considering some of the steps that you just told me you have to take, but in our area, usually your lifeguards are taught by the American Red Cross. And once you are an American Heart Association instructor, then you can it's called being grandfathered in. You can just go back and take a class, and you can also have dual certifications. So you can be an American Heart Association instructor and an American Red Cross instructor. That will allow you to teach those lifeguards. That's why I was talking about the beaches, etc. Something else to consider for, and we're talking about the layperson classes for Elaine. And then something else to consider is that in our area, not only do we have spring break, but it's almost the summertime. And so you can start pushing the child and babysitting classes. So those would be some other opportunities where you can get out and teach to the community and earn some extra revenue.
Yeah. Okay.
And what about your threats, Elaine?
Well, I think other companies is the bigger threat. Yeah, that I don't see like another threat than that. I don't know. I really don't.
How many other of the competitors, the businesses are owned by females?
None that I know.
So that is your competitive advantage. And when you're marketing your business, it's going to be woman owned, nurse owned, first responder owned. And I put down on my paper government contracts. because there's no reason why you two, when you're talking about those layperson classes, there's no reason why you two should not be working with the government. We have to get you there. But once you get there, and when I say government, it doesn't have to be Puerto Rican government. It can be, if you need to partner with me in Jacksonville, it can be, you know, because you're women and it's a territory of US, so we can figure out a way to help you get some government contracts. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so next page. And with the SWOT analysis, I need you to redo this like every 3 months, because the competitors are always changing and the environment's always changing. And once you get up and going, you're going to realize that you have new SWOTs, you have new strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And now with your SMART goals, a SMART goal must be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. And when you turn to the box that has like the table, or the page that has the table,
Yeah.
a SMART goal for each of you, and I'm just going to help you with your first one, is hopefully by the month of April. We're in March now, so hopefully by the month of April, with your various aspects, healthcare, layperson, I want each of you to be able to teach 20 students and actually get paid to teach 20 students. That's something you can do in March, but we'll push it off until April. And so a SMART goal would be, I want to have 20 CPR customers or 20 BLS customers by April, or by April the 30th. And then measurable, how is it going to be measured is because you're going to receive 30 payments. So we'll talk about your pricing structure. Is that achievable? Yes, it is, because you're going to be reaching out to those agency owners to see if you can either rent a spot. And if you can't rent a spot, sometimes the churches will let you use one of their extra rooms. And so you can have a brick and mortar location without actually having to lease it. You're just going to have to partner your way to the top. Relevant, it is relevant because we talked about spring break, we talked about the lifeguards, we talked about the laypersons who need training, and of course we have our healthcare providers who need their certifications. And time bound, we're talking 30 to 60 days. So now I want you both to create a SMART goal for your business. Okay, I talked about one being the 20 students. Now I want you to make up one. All right, who wants to go first?
Will you finish first? You go first.
I just oh well, I right now I want to finish the business plan. I really want to finish that by our mission, the vision, all the format.
Can I stop you? I want to applaud you. Because whenever you start talking about your mission, that's one of the first things you should be doing, is understanding your why. And when you understand your why, when the business slows or things get hard, or when it seems like all these regulations you have to abide by become too cumbersome, if you remember your why, your business is more likely to stay in business. So what's your time bound? How long before you want to complete your business plan?
I'd like to finish in 30 days.
Very good. Very good. And I'm going to help you with that today. So again, only about 30 minutes is recorded, and then the rest we discuss offline. So very good. What about you, Mileeann?
Well, my goal right now is to get certified by the board, any board, whether it's a first response or nurse, because I think that's going to be the harder goal to achieve after we finish the business, formally start the business. It's getting the certification, because to impact the healthcare workers, we need that.
Well, I do understand the headache and the red tape, but it's two of you all, and hopefully you can get this done and time bound. How many weeks or months are we looking at?
Well,
no, I'm looking like this month. I changed my time of working. I'm not a full-time right now.
Okay.
I just I tried to, because I didn't have the time to do it, the actual work, because I was so tired all the time. But that is going to change now. That I'm going to work a little less in my current job to can do this.
Hopefully, once we know exactly what they want from us, it wouldn't take more than a month, hopefully.
So let me rephrase the question. How long before you actually go there to figure out what's needed? Because my job is to be your accountability partner, and I set my calendar to follow up to see if you did the first step.
Oh, she's going tomorrow. She says.
She says she's going to do it.
No. I believe her, but I'm translating. She says she's going tomorrow.
Okay,
I cannot accompany her, but yeah.
Okay, good job. All right, so next page, please. And we're almost done with this part, and then we'll take a quick break before we actually get down to the components of our business plan and actually help you strategize. Partnerships. You all have mentioned so many partnerships. If you all can just write a few down, this isn't anything we're going to discuss online, but between the churches and the people that you already know who are at the boards, etc., your business, once you do get it up and going, should grow pretty fast. And so if you'll just write down a few partnerships so that when things get slow, you refer back to this sheet and you contact those contacts. Oh, I found another one. It's called Amigas, and it's Support Women in Puerto Rico, and that is friendsofpuertorico.org. I'm getting excited for you all. You all have all these resources in your own, territory, your own island, and I want you all to start reaching out to them because they're going to be proud to have you as part of their members. Okay. All right. So we wrote down our partnerships. All right, this is one of the last things we have to complete. States what makes your business unique. And I have a picture of a unicorn there because I think unicorns are awesome. All right, so I want you to talk about your unicorn traits, being tech savvy. And so the way that you all found me was that you went online and you researched. I want people to be able to do the same thing for you, okay? And so how are you all with technology?
We're decent. We're decent. Yeah.
All right. Have you all ever created any ads before? Flyers.
Yes, I'm not that technological like with the apps, but
social media wise, she's not very tech savvy. However, she used to be she used to work in I don't know how you say, the banners and
Okay.
I know how to do graphic design.
Yeah, she's a graphic designer, and well, not a certified graphic designer.
No.
That used to be her work before becoming a nurse. She
has design experience, and so what we usually use here is Canva, and Canva spelled CANVA. And that's where a lot of business owners, when we're making thumbnails, pretty much everything, book covers, the signs on the wall, I do all that myself and I use Canva. It's really drag, drop, click, add photos. And so that would be a way that you could actually start marketing. And then the photos that you're going to be taking when you're teaching at the events, at the schools, etc., that's also going to help with your marketing too. So tech savvy, disruptive. When I started my business, my training business, not only was I a minority, I was one of the only women doing this. And so I pissed off a lot of people. And so I see the same thing happening with you. I mean, you all are dynamic, you're women, you're a couple, you're a team. And so use that to your benefit, okay? Consumer focused. Tell me, what do you think makes a good business owner?
¿Qué hace a una persona un buen dueño? I personally think that a good business owner is a person that is not only passionate about their business, but also is willing to accept any constructive criticism they receive for their business, and is willing to go outside what they have in mind. If that they are willing to accept change as it comes, and that will benefit the business in the long run. Like you start by something, but you're not only concentrated on that. If an opportunity comes that makes it better, then you take it. You are willing to flow with it. Yeah,
That's very good. Being innovative. If you're going to stay in business, if you're going to stay in business for 14 years, you can't do things the way that you did them in 2008. And so with remote courses, with just being a global training facility, I want you all to be thinking of that too. So, you know, we're starting off with this one thing, but whenever you're doing your business plan, you're actually thinking about 1 year, 3 year, 5 years. And so that innovation, you always going back and revamping your business plan and looking at your SWOT analysis, that's going to keep you outside the box, and it's going to make you competitive even against those companies who've been around for years or decades. Oh, since Mileeann told us your unicorn trait, you tell me Mileeann's unicorn trait.
I think when she teach, she she got to the people. She is more the way she think and transmit the what she's saying is more easy to understand than when I do it, because I always have a lot of ideas, and I jump and go forward, and it's my mind is a little bit of like jumping around.
I'm the same way. I totally understand. So yeah, so you're streamlined as far as the process as the back end, but then when you stand up in front of the class, and then Mileeann is more streamlined. She can communicate a little bit easier with the customers, but it's going to take both of you all. So that is the end of our recorded segment. Before I in the video, I would like for you all to actually say, I guess, give business advice to other women business owners in Puerto Rico. But I don't just want you to do this in English. I also want you to say it in Spanish.
Okay. So, you want to go first?
No.
Okay. So, in my case, I am very proud to be, I don't know if I'm the first here. I don't know anyone that has done it before. And I want to reach out to any woman, that feels like they can learn, because it's a man's job. In my case, first responder and paramedics, that's usually the obstacle we find. How is it that you're doing a man's job? It goes a little bit complicated, but what I'm trying to say is I am proud to be able to give someone else the chance to understand that you can do it, that you have the capabilities, that there's no limitations. Whether you're a man or a woman, there's no limitations, and we're all equal. And I think we have the opportunity, no matter who we are. En español. Me encanta el hecho de que vamos a abrir un negocio que las mujeres se puedan sentir, específicamente las mujeres se puedan sentir en la comodidad de aprender algo que usualmente los varones dominan, por lo menos en el campo de trabajo donde trabajo yo, que sería el de los paramédicos. Eso me enorgullece mucho y estoy muy contenta de poder dar ese paso para otras mujeres a que aprendan.
I don't know what you said, but I love it.
Well, if you have an idea, you have just to start working that. In your time or something. And we have different backgrounds in my case, my family, the women of my family are very, very
They are all business owners and they are all one in her family.
In my family, my grandma started a business of
her grandma is a farmer.
Yeah,
a very successful farmer.
When no other women work in that area, she got the farm. She do it alone with 4 kids, and she was very successful doing it.
Still is very successful.
Yeah, still.
And she's wise. She's a very wise woman.
My aunt have a sign business
design,
and and she did it with her husband from the start. They have the idea. They have the will to do it.
And where grit from? We call that grit and willpower, where you cannot things through because you've already seen it happen before. And when I went to the school today, and we're talking about, and I asked everybody, you know, they can tell me what a nurse is or was, but they couldn't tell me what a nurse entrepreneur was. And so when I go to different places, I realize, and I've been realizing this now for almost 15 years, that I am the first nurse entrepreneur that many people will ever meet. And if not, I'm the first Black or minority nurse entrepreneur that many people will meet. And so now it's going to be you, the same. Okay, so you're going to be the nurse entrepreneur of Puerto Rico.
Well, I hope so.
And I still want you to, you know, give your closing statement in Spanish, but this is what I want to say about the two of you. How much dedication you all had to be trusting, to be able to do your research, travel to Florida, stay overnight in a foreign city. I'm assuming you caught the Uber or whatever, the class, to come back the next day, execute it, actually be monitored while teaching, earn your American Heart Association credentials to teach basic life support, and I want to say less than a week, fly back, and then on top of that, be mentored and guided as business owners. So I applaud you two, and I hope that once you join the chamber, you're going to encourage other people to do the same. And so, Mileeann, if I say it's your name incorrectly, I apologize. But now would you please give the closing statements in Spanish?
Ok, en español es mucho más fácil. No tengan miedo de empezar un negocio. No, si tienes una idea, trata de llevarla a cabo. Hay muchas personas que lo hicieron antes y han sido exitosas, y es trabajar duro en la idea que se pueda tener. Básicamente eso.
That was in Spanish.
Okay. Right, well, we're going to be exiting now, everybody. So we will continue our business development offline. And I just thank you all for your business and your partnership. All right, everybody. Bye.
Bye.